it's been an entire year since the Galaxy S22 Ultra's launch. I mean more than a year. And today I just want to talk about how the night mode performs in 2023. And let's just get up straight up this. If your night shot exposure is below 4 seconds, then your shot will look perfect and amazing. So let's start with the ultra-wide camera. Now the ultra-wide camera is one of the best ultra-wide cameras that you could get in 2022, and it is now updated to the S23 Ultra in 2023, but it still holds up according to my opinion. The ultra-wide camera in general takes good detail, good photos, nothing much to worry about actually. So regarding the ultra-wide camera, it's a really good camera for this price range. And let's get to the big boy, the main camera. And this is a 108 megapixel photo, 108 megapixel camera that has the ability to pixel bin to allow more light to your photo. So it's obviously the brightest photo. And once I did a night test in my home, which I wouldn't post by the way because it looks kind of bad, not the photo but the house. Okay, so the ultra wide camera was a lot of muddy and ugly, so I thought the entire photo that I take with the other cameras will look bad as well. But as soon as I popped into the main camera and the photo it took, the difference was enormous, and that's partly the reason why I tend to not use the ultra-wide camera of any phone, even though how good it is. So the main camera is obviously really good, as I said previously, and it is also 108 megapixels. So in bright conditions, I mean semi-dim bright conditions, you could also use the 108 megapixels to get a lot of detail in your photo, and the detail is also noticeable when you take the photo. But you will mostly take photos in the 12 megapixel bin down mode, and your photos are really bright. I have a photo that I took of something called the Lower Mahapa in Anuradhapura, and that photo I took at 7 p.m. sharp, and with the 3x lens, and that photo was, after I took the photo and I shared it with my friends, and they said, wow, that photo was definitely taken at 2 p.m. not at night. And that's how bright the photos are at night, even though. But I mean, some people would like it and like it too bright to make it look like daylight, but I personally prefer the way I like bright photos. But there is kind of a vibe when you take night photos, and they should be looking like night photos. So whatever you prefer, this camera will mostly take bright photos, but Samsung can also fix that with a simple software update. And the next thing is, now the brightening thing is about the entire camera system. So yeah, it's not about when you're taking photos from the ultra wide, everything will look so much brighter. Now the next thing I want to talk about is the 3x itself. Now at 3x, I sometimes argue myself that the brightening power and the noise reduction power of the 3x camera is better than the main camera, and it's partially true actually. Even though the 3x camera requires you to hold your camera still for a long time than the main camera, it just captures more information on the shots at times. So yeah, the 3x camera is obviously really good, but in really low light conditions it kind of struggles, to be honest. And the last thing is the 10x, and I just straight up recommend you not using the 10x camera unless you really want it, because Samsung themselves said at their launch event that only the ultra-wide main and the 3x camera is optimized for their Nightography features. So yeah, the 10x camera is not the best on use. But you could also use the flash for some of the main camera's photos. But I don't think you will love the way that flash shines. Let's go back to the main camera, and it's just great and everything just fine. And to simplify it, the ultra-wide is good enough, but I suggest you just walking back, take a few steps away, and then using the main camera instead. You will be proud of the results. And the 3x lens is obviously really good in my experience, but I have seen some critics on the 3x lens of some people online, so it depends on you. But my experience has been really solid with the 3x lens, and the 10x lens is not something that you want to use. And yeah, that's been it with the Nightography features of the S22 Ultra after a year, and I'll see you in the next video then.